Yo, 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 how's everyone doing? It's your boy Skilled Fawn, and today we are going to be doing a challenge run on one of my favorite games of all time. So let's jump straight on into the rules. Starting off, I have to finish the game with no deaths. This means that if I die by any means, I must restart the game/run. Next, the run will be on normal difficulty, which is Sith Warrior. Subsequently, I have to beat the game. And lastly is glitches and or exploits are allowed. I am excited to be showing off this challenge to you guys. This is because this game I've done a lot of speed runs on and enjoy a lot in general. Let's head on into the run. We are going to start the challenge/speed run with Darth Vader. At approximately 9 seconds, the intro cutscene can be skipped, and the player is able to go into the game. With Vader, we are going to bunny hop to the gate at the beginning of the game. Normally, the player would charge Vader's force push ability and bring the entire gate crumbling down. In this run, though, we are going to be using some really cool techs. I'll showcase a few examples, but essentially, certain movements in the games can be exploited. Jump and dash moves can be enhanced to go as far as the player wants, or at least until the map restricts them with invisible walls and such. To pull this off, the player must jump or dash, and this must be before or slightly after the animation starts. Then next, the player will go to the select button screen and click into one of the tabs. After going into the tab and backing out to the game, this will keep Vader/Starkiller's momentum. One of my favorite glitches in this game. Up next, we have another skip, which is across this massive chasm after going up an elevator. I've edited this so you don't have to see all the menuing, but if you are curious to see the speedrun unedited, then click the link above or in the description. Basically, I'm trying to get as much height as possible and to go slightly forward. This method saves a lot of time, especially compared to going the normal way around. Eventually, we get to the first boss fight, which is Rogue Jedi. Now, the nice thing about the first mission, which I should mention, is that Darth Vader cannot actually die. I've had plenty of speedrun attempts where I've actually fallen to 0 HP, but you are able to keep going. It's after this mission where the player/Starkiller can actually die. A great tech that I learned for this fight is to attack twice with the X button and then quickly block and rinse and repeat. If done correctly, Rogue Jedi will be stagger locked and won't transition to phase 2. But unfortunately, I did not execute this well, and he entered his second phase, which was a bit of a time loss, as when he does his force aura, Darth Vader cannot attack, and it just basically just prolongs the fight. We do eventually take him down, so let's move on. The next thing is that you are able to skip missions in this game. I will showcase this now. Essentially, the player clicks on the mission restart button. Once it fades to a black screen, the player must use the D-pad and click down as many times as possible. Usually, this will take 2 attempts, but in rare instances, I've been able to do this in one. You basically just have to spam down as hard as, you can. And, click the crap out of it. This will save a lot of time as you are obviously skipping countless missions throughout the game and potential deaths. So let's head on to the final mission. At the start of the final mission, we spawn into an absolute shit show. There are many stormtroopers, snipers, and mech troopers. In a quote-unquote normal run, the player would fight through these and eventually take down 2 chicken walkers. Afterwards, there would be no enemies, and this would allow the player to open the hatch/metal doors in the middle of the room and jump down. Since we don't want to waste time doing that, let's just bypass the enemies and force it open from the start. Once the player reaches the level below, they are able to traverse the pipeline that the Death Star weapon shoots through. This is a timed event, but isn't the biggest deal in this section. Further on the timing will be important. At a certain point, we find that a health steal aura is available for us to use, and after picking it up, this will allow me to open the door while getting fired upon. As I open the door while getting shot, my health will be restored by the countless enemies around me. After making it through one of the firing chambers and opening a door, let's move on to the next section. After opening another door, we find a holocron. Holocrons in this game grant the player experience points, lightsaber colors, lightsaber modifiers, and costumes. It'd be great to get a lightsaber modifier in this run, but there aren't many on the path, especially close ones. Instead, this holocron is for experience, which will help in the final battle. The more levels that I get, I can obviously upgrade certain stats, so that's really what I'm trying to go for. Subsequently, we grab another experience holocron and head further into the firing chamber. The chamber is slightly different than the other ones. In a quote-unquote normal run, the player must wait for the laser to stop firing and halt the rings in the middle of the large room. This will extend a small bridge, allowing the player to go over. Since I don't want to wait, we will be doing another movement tech. A dash tech has a similar procedure to the jump versions, such as doing the desired movement, then half a second or so going to the select menu. This differs slightly though, as after the menu where the player returns to the game, they have to dash again. If not, then they will just fall. Doesn't keep the movement that way compared to like a jump. After making it past the first set of rings, I reload the last save. This way I don't have to wait for the laser to fire again, and we also get to see Starkiller pulling out some crazy dance moves. I quickly want to talk about my opinions on this game and its sequel. I really enjoyed this first game, but I strongly dislike the sequel. I was really hoping for a similar premise for the second game, but was underwhelmed by its content. One reason that I enjoy the first game is the variability of boss fights, but in the second game, it's just a handful of Empire mechs, with Vader being the final boss. The DLC is probably the best part about the second game, and it only has one. It's pretty cool as the player plays as a Starkiller clone that is seen during the Dark Side ending. And in this DLC, you can fight Han Solo, Chewbacca, and a Jedi Leia Organa. And if you guys are interested in checking out any of these, they are on my channel. The first game had two really great DLCs, and then one that was pretty mediocre, in my opinion. The meminess of Luke turning to the dark side is just top tier. Eventually, we do another jump tech and find ourselves in another boss fight. This is a fairly simple fight, as there is a health steal aura holocron, and the player can do a bunch of jump attacks. These enemies are quite good at blocking most attacks, but for whatever reason, they struggle with jump attacks. And after fighting these guys, I do get another level, and this will be very helpful in the final battle. So we do take him down and grab another experience holocron. Let's move on. I want to showcase where I'm dumping my levels. I upgrade my force push, vitality, and force combo. This will be great as I have more health and can use the combo on Vader for extra damage. In one of my normal speedruns, I would hope to have 3 levels in that category so I could upgrade my saber's damage. But, you know, since this is slightly different, we're not exactly going for that. Sooner or later, we head into Vader's fight. Now, with any challenge or speedrun, the two biggest issues are human error and RNG. For me, I still make a lot of mistakes with my movement, etc., but these things can be fixed/adjusted. RNG, on the other hand, cannot be predicted, or it can be, but it's, you know, really hard to actually determine, you know, what's going to happen. A boss can do a certain move, and then another run they could change it up. This is minor at times, but can be detrimental to a challenge/speedrun. I could go a lot more into this as I'm decently knowledgeable on this game, but I don't think you guys want to hear my 20-page essay. So eventually we do send him into Phase 2. Vader's Phase 2 can be quite tricky. as at the start of his fight, he will try and hurl objects from across the room towards Starkiller. To counter this, I will have to either force push the object back towards him or throw another object while he's, holding one. Once hit, Vader will be stunned for about 2 to 3 attack combos, and after reaching a certain amount of health, Vader will crush all the platforms in the area besides like the main back one and jump over there. Now, if the player is able to bypass this last part, and this is done by dealing enough damage and stunning him in the previous part of phase 2, then they would be able to just bypass the rest of this and go to phase 3. But since this is normal difficulty and I don't have the saber damage increase ability, this is impossible. We do eventually get him down and execute one of, if not my favorite QTEs in this game. And yeah, I know a lot of people hate QuickTime events, and I'm definitely one of those people, but I think in games like this, God of War, they are just perfect. Especially once Vader, you attack him a few times and he stands up and ignites his lightsaber. It's just the coolest thing. I truly do love this first game, and they really capture lightning in a bottle. Just a shame that the second one had to fall so far. Once we get past the second phase, the player has two choices. The light side ending, where Starkiller fights Emperor Palpatine, thus saving his friends. The other choice is the dark side ending, where Starkiller gives into his emotions to end Vader. We're going to do the dark side ending, as this is the quickest and easiest ending, and has a lot less bullshit in the fight. This is basically identical to his first phase. The only difference is that Vader has cosmetic damage. You're going to be doing that combo that I picked up, and this will launch him in the air when completed. This will allow me to stab him when down, which is highly damaging. One reason I enjoy this game is there are a lot of playstyles the player can utilize. I really enjoy parrying bosses to punish them afterwards with a devastating combo. Eventually, we reach his QTE, and so let's take him down. And yeah, this is Star Wars Force Unleashed, no deaths. I really hope you guys enjoyed this and learned something new. In this run, I didn't get the best time as I was approximately 13 minutes in game time, but if you'd like to see another speed run where I get 9 minutes and 7 seconds, click the link above or in the description, and I'll also put it on the screen right now. But now to quickly talk about a few things, I have a bunch of Elden Ring, Sekiro, Lies of P, and other challenge runs coming soon. I will also have a few other videos that are non-challenges. Seems like you guys have been really enjoying those ones, such as like the Elden Ring DLC stuff, or when Battlefront 2, the Classic Collection, was being released. Obviously, we didn't know at that time how bad it was going to be, but it seems like you guys just enjoy those videos, so I'll definitely be making a lot more. And so, yeah, thank you guys for coming, watching the video, checking me out. I greatly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to click the video. If you have a chance, try and do something kind for someone today / this week. And this is your boy, Skilled Fawn, and I'm out.